CSR strategies during reading. This video will focus on the during reading phase of the CSR strategies. During reading, students will use two strategies to monitor their comprehension and identify and rectify confusion. First will be identifying and fixing clicks and clunks, and then getting the gist. Clicks and clunks refer to the metacognitive process strong readers experience when monitoring comprehension. When a text makes sense, it clicks. When it does not, it clunks. Encouraging students to recognize these clunks helps them to recognize when understanding is breaking down and apply fix-up strategies. These fix-up strategies are, first, to reread the sentence with the clunk in it and find the meaning from the context clues. Next, they might also reread the sentence with the clunk and the sentence before or after, looking for clues to figure out the clunk. They might also break the word apart and look for a prefix, suffix, or a root word. Second language students might also look for a cognate that makes sense. Let's look at an example to see what clicks and clunks students might experience and how they might fix them up. So considering this text from last video, first, students should look for words or phrases they don't know or understand. They'll stop when they find one. So while reading through this text, an example of a clunk a student might face, so a breakdown in comprehension, might be the word suitable. It's important that you help students recognize that even though they feel like they might know the meaning of a word or have a general idea what it means, often these words that we just glance over and think, yeah, I know what that means, these are clunks and we don't totally understand them. After identifying this clunk, students can use the fix-up strategy we discussed to make this clunk into a click. They can reread the sentence before and after, maybe look for prefixes, suffixes, or roots, or look for the cognate or part of speech of the word. So with this word suitable, if they were to read it in the sentence, the ban will come into force on September 15, 2018 to give the food industry enough time to find suitable alternatives, the regulator said. This might be enough information for the student to make sense of it. If not, they could read the sentences before and after. A student might also recognize the root of this word suit, that something fits or is appropriate. Finally, you can ask a student if there's a cognate in their own language or if they recognize the part of speech that this makes sense for. From one of these four strategies, a student might recognize that something is suitable, it's appropriate, or usable. After students prepare their clunks, they move on to the get the gist phase, where they determine the main idea of the section of text they've just finished reading. Students first identify who or what is most important when reading. They then write their own gist statement that expresses the overall message of the reading. Students are encouraged to limit the word count of their gist statements and ensure that their statement covers the entirety of the reading. Using the same example, first a student would have to find the most important who or what. In this article, the most important who or what, as indicated from the title and the word spread throughout it, is trans fat. From this, students say, okay, what information is there about this who or what? What is the article saying about trans fats? So in this text, students would have noticed that trans fats are being banned, that they'll be off our plates, that there are goods that extend shelf life, and this ban is going to come into force on September 15th. It's going to apply to food sold across the country, and that it could prevent heart attacks. This is some of the most important information in the article about the topic, trans fats. From there, they need to write a short gist statement. The gist of this text is that trans fat will be banned in Canada starting in 2018. This seems to be the main point or the gist of this article. What follows are some common errors students faced with the during reading strategies. One common error is that students may not find any clunks. While this may indicate that the student did not encounter any known words, It's more likely that they did not recognize when their understanding broke down while reading. First, students must know what type of words are clunks. As we discussed, for example, a student may say that they know the meaning of the word, but when asked to explain its meaning, they're unable to do so. You can help by demonstrating levels of knowing a word, so students can apply fix-up strategies to words that they're familiar with but unsure of the meaning. Another challenge is that learning how to synthesize detailed information into a statement can be challenging. You can help by demonstrating making several gist statements to model the process, and then comparing them to show which one is more clear and concise. Sometimes, students' gist statements may lack important information. Make sure that students begin recognizing first, the most important who or what, and two, the most important things about the who or what. This ensures that their sentences have a clear subject and appropriate predicate.